Hi friends and welcome. Today I have a few upcycle projects for you. For project number 1, we're going to upcycle this wooden sign. Someone had attached a piece of molding to the bottom so that it can stand up, and I'd like to turn this into a farmhouse sign for my sister. I'm using some white enamel paint from Apple Barrel, and I'm applying it on using a cloth because I really wanted to avoid brush strokes. I sanded the entire piece to get the original print off of the wood. There was a stain on the wood, so I did have to apply 3 coats of the paint, which covered it up. Next, I'm taking my favorite painter's tape and making a grain stack stripe. After I got the 2 little stripes done on the side, I paint the larger one down the center. I wanted a very faint, almost like an airbrush look, so I did not apply a thick coat of paint. While the paint was still wet, I removed the painter's tape. Don't you guys love when you do that on a project and it comes out? It's like, yay! I purchased the stencil in a set with others, and I couldn't wait to make the sign for my sister's farmhouse. I applied black paint from Apple Barrel very lightly using a sponge brush. One of our viewers recommended using the little cosmetic sponges that you pick up at the Dollar Tree. She really likes those for stenciling, so I want to give those a try next time that I go shopping. For the most part, I was able to use a light brush, but in some areas I got a little carried away. So for the areas that got a little messed up and to put the letters together, I just used a small thin paintbrush. I will be doing a final reveal at the end of this video for our vignette today. And you'll have to let me know which is your favorite project today. So for project number 2, I had this little rooster that I picked up at a yard sale, I think for around 50 cents, and I thought that he would look really cute in this farmhouse style vignette. So I'm applying some of the white wax from Waverly, using a wax brush to get down inside of all of the cracks, because I'd like him to have a little bit softer of a look. Then I wipe back the wax using a cotton cloth and a dry brush. The dry brush helps me to be able to get into any of the areas where there might be a little too much wax. And there he is with his new makeover. If you like any of today's projects or this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and comment below. And I thank you very much for helping my channel grow. For our next project, we're going to repurpose this old window frame. It took me quite a while to sand this piece and get off all the old caulk and glazing off of the back. I did also apply 1 coat of white paint to the front of it and then sanded that off to help brighten up the white. I had this piece of pine wood that I added some antiquing wax to, cut it down to size, and then I took a set of metal brackets, spray painted them with black paint so that they would match the little hooks that I had. And now I just need to cover up the screws with some black paint. Once I had it all cleaned and sanded down, it didn't take any time at all to screw the brackets and the hooks in. And then my husband added some hooks onto the back and made sure it was even on our wall. And next I need to tackle some of the windows that have the glass pane still in them. The Farm Fresh milk container we did in a previous video, you'll see that today in our final display. I will also link that video for you at the end of this one in case you wanted to check that out. I love taking common household items or ones that you find often in the thrift store and add a few embellishments and use them in our home decor. You'll have to let me know if you'd like to do this as well and share some of your ideas with me. I removed some of the strands of pitberry from the pick that I had, and I'm twisting them around a pencil to give them a spiral look. So I did that with 4 of them and have some pieces of greenery off of a wreath that I upcycled. And off of that wreath was this piece of fabric, and I never realized that it looks like it's from a valance or a curtain. So I'm going to take a pair of scissors and clean up the edges because I'm going to tie that on to cover up where I'm gluing on the greenery. After the greenery, I add the pitberries and glue them on. And now it's time to add the tie. I don't know about you, but I've never thought of using any type of curtain, but it really adds a pop of texture. I'll have to definitely keep that in mind next time I go to the thrift store. I felt that it needed a little something more, so I took 3 little jingle bells off of another pitberry strand that I have, twisted the wires around, and applied that right up through the top. And I applied some hot glue onto the tie and pressed firmly so there wouldn't be any gaps. So next I took a battery operated candle that I have, and these have a coating of wax on them. So I'm going to clean this one up and add it to the base. And so I wanted to share this thrifted find with you. It's a vintage salt box. When I saw it in the thrift store, I thought, oh, what a perfect box. I can take it home, paint it, and notice that there was real salt on the inside of it. When I went to look it up, it is indeed vintage. So I'm going to put it on Etsy this week and see if anyone wants it the way that it is. And if it's still around in another month or so, then I'll decide if I'm going to paint it or not. But I thought for today, it would be nice in our farmhouse display. What do you guys think of this piece? I think for fall and winter, you can't go wrong with decorating with pine cones. Now, these pine cones have been bleached. They're Eastern white pine cones. And I did not bake them first because when I add them in with a bleach solution, I feel that that's enough to kill the bugs. And the one that I'm holding on the right is one that has not been bleached, it's just been baked. That's why the scales are open. And then the ones on the left have been bleached. And you'll notice that the sap on the bleached ones turns white. So I thought that this would give it a nice rustic look. The next thing that I'm going to do is put them in line according to size with the largest one on the bottom. And then taking a piece of jute twine, tying it up underneath the scales of the pine cone. And we're going to be placing these upside down. So you want to make sure that you're tying them on going in the same direction. So once you have this long piece of twine, now it's time to tie the remaining pine cones on to that one long string. When you do it this way, it allows you to be able to position the pine cones any way that you'd like after tying them on. I wanted to make a simple bow and tie it up at the top, and this is burlap ribbon that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And now it's all set and ready to hang. If you'd like to check out other easy to make pine cone decorations, I have that linked for you below in the description box. In case you missed last Sunday's video, you're going to find that on the left-hand side, or you can click on the video on the right to check out the projects that I made using water slide decals. Friends, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found some inspiration tucked inside. Have a super blessed week. I will see you Sunday, and God bless.